I don't even care. Sam right now is running late, so like she'll be out.
Well, I just gotta leave by 3 is my thing, so as long as we're good there.
And that's my mom, and I'll call her later.
You wanna wait for her? Are we good on?
Nah, fuck it. Sam will come around a little bit of stuff. She's on her way. You remember, she has to drive like super freaking far to get here.
I don't know where she lives.
She lives like somewhere like in North Round Rock and like somewhere around there. I know it's far.
So she drives really far to go to like Spokesman and shit.
She doesn't drive far. She works downtown.
I know where she works because actually she gave me a bunch of liquor bottles for a play I was doing, and I met her by her work. Because we had to build a bar.
So you were building a bar for her?
No, for a play.
Damn.
And I went to Pat Dean.
I
went to Pat Dean and got a bunch of shit from the Velveeta room, and then she said she had some stuff I grabbed from her because she likes to drink, so she had a bunch of empties.
So
hey, I hit up a bunch of friends and club owners or bartenders, man. I mean, when you got to build a bar for a play, man, you need fucking bottles, and you got to fill them full of iced tea and water to make it look like it's a real bar.
Wait. So you're filling up these liquors without the proper? You're just putting like brown water?
Yeah, it was a bar. It was a bar scene for a play.
God damn.
Yeah. Breakfast at Joe's. It was a take on Breakfast at Joe's.
We're already talking. Wow.
Dude, my character's name was Omar, dude. I played
a second, like Omar.
I was Omar, who was a drunk rock star, dude.
Drunk rock star named Omar.
Yeah.
Is that?
And I played.
Do I look like that's trippy to me.
I'm like. I mean, I've met people from the Mideast and a lot of Mexican and Latinos named Omar. I ain't never met a white dude named Omar.
Yeah, that's a minority name right there.
It was definitely like
there are literally sometimes
I'm really acting. This is really acting.
There are literally sometimes I wonder, okay, so what? When someone reviews my resume, so what gets me disqualified first, the Omar or the Gonzalez? Because I'm confused. Welcome to the All Regerts podcast, a podcast about regrets with Omar Gonzalez and Sam Narani. With this week's guest, Paul Weiner and Casey Stewart. Like I said, it's All Regerts podcast. It's the podcast me and Sam have started because we're brown and we have a lot of regrets in our life. we just talk about everything that's kind of like weird and goes off in our lives and kind of like just work things out through it. So I gave you guys a topic this week. Sam will join us eventually. She's on her way over here. She's just falling a little bit late, but I want to introduce you guys. Who you've been hearing mostly right now is my friend, my confidant, one of my first friends when I was doing comedy, Mr. Paul Weiner.
Hello.
Yeah. You want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Oh, Paul Weiner.
Yep.
52.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look a day over 49.
This is like the saddest dating profile I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. It's my Tinder profile. I'm really into horseback riding. I'm holding a fish right now.
You're holding. Yeah, that's true. Wow, that's quite the.
I don't support Trump unless you want to go out with me, and then maybe I'll consider it.
Oh God.
I don't know. No.
All right. So wait. How hot does this girl have to be for you to be like, all right, if she's an 8.6, you know what? I can overlook the MAGA hat.
You know, there's this old saying, hate fuck. I don't know if you guys are familiar with hate fucking.
That is true.
Yeah, I would hate fuck a couple Trump supporters for sure. If they were hot, I would definitely. It would probably be better than fucking a liberal, honestly.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a part of me that thinks that's possibly true.
I mean, because I could fuck for love, but fucking for hate, that's some serious.
That's true love right there. When you're fucking for hate, that's true love.
You know?
You get in an argument with your lady and all of a sudden you're just in the bedroom fucking.
Get all that fucking anger out towards Trump, man.
And the other guest that we have right now is my good buddy, Casey Stewart.
Yeah. What's good? Casey Stewart. I'm a comic new to Austin. Well, new. I've been here for 2 years, right? I guess it's new.
You're still a sophomore.
I'm making it in there. I don't know. I got a few regrets, not a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm too square-laced to have regrets. I got to pay my taxes on time. I don't know.
Don't worry.
But yeah, I've been doing comedy for a minute. I want to try the podcast. I want to check it out. It's a cool idea. So
I appreciate
dive
that.
into this shit.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna put on my glasses. These guys are all nerding out. I'm gonna put on my glasses.
I need to put on glasses to see you.
Yeah,
That's it.
like, I promise I would kill somebody if I didn't wear glasses driving. It's not even a joke. Like there's times I'll be driving and I like can't see somebody in the middle of the dark and I almost hit them. And this is okay. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm gonna calm down.
No, by all means, we've admitted felonies here.
I just call it collecting hood ornaments, man.
Look, man, statute of limitations.
If they're in the street, I mean, you know, and they're not in the crosswalk, I don't know.
I'm still waiting another year and a half before I could do this bit because of the statute of limitations. So you're fine.
I would definitely live my experience on this one, man.
Mm-hmm.
Statute of limitations is definitely something to think about.
Sometimes it is.
I'm just saying, you know, like, cause like, you know.
And there she is.
Stop talking about her. Here she comes.
And in case you guys are wondering, my friend Sam Narani just showed up. The other co-host on this podcast.
Somebody needs some coffee.
I'm not crying. I was just sweaty because my AC is broken.
I'm not crying. I'm just sweating.
That's a reason to cry. You know that, like your AC is broken and everything. So I guess we just started just talking.
We're
still
talking about statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations on bits.
I don't even know how.
felonies.
All right, continue.
Yeah. I mean, unless you kill somebody, like, there's eventually a time that I think all
No, another thing is child support. That's another thing that happens.
I'm talking about like a crime. Like
No, but okay. Well, granted, sometimes
child support's for life too, though. I didn't know.
No. Here's what happened. One of my I used to work at
Really?
I used to work at a place at Denny's when I was a server, and like we had the cook, and the cook was there for like about. It was his second job that I had to do at night. Cause like he told me the whole story. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, all right, cool. So like I've been with my wife for 40 years. I love her to death and everything. Except one night we had a fight, and we just broke it off. We're like right there for that one night. So I went out to a bar and I met this girl, and you know we're hanging out, and then we have sex, and then the next day I go back to my wife. 10 years later, I get a knock on my door. Child support. We have this kid right here. You haven't paid child support for 10 years. You not only have to pay child support going forward until she's 18, you have to pay all this bad child support.
And his name was Bill Murray. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It was. Look, man. I knew it was funny because we couldn't call him Bill. It was just like, we know it's Bill. We know it's you, Bill Murray.
She has so many questions, though. So many questions. How did they know it was his kid?
She pointed him out.
Why didn't she
I'm
put
not
him out
saying
like a long
like,
time ago?
Like she might have known it was his kid.
Yeah.
She might not have had sex with anybody else. Mm-hmm. But don't they check like to prove
it was a DNA test
before they start charging?
It was a DNA test and everything, and he just got a surprise test out of nowhere and everything. And
did they steal his DNA?
You know what's?
Was this 10-year-old unaccompanied when it showed up?
We are living in the world in which Stormy Daniels and Monica.
Hey, Dad, you owe me money.
Yeah.
Mr. Father.
One thing I know with having 3 kids.
Yeah.
When I orgasmed, I was not thinking about having a kid. That's the one
everybody.
thing I know.
That's
but,
everybody.
Like, to be honest, I hope you're not thinking about kids when you orgasm.
Yeah,
exactly.
It could be a fetish.
Good point. Yeah, I can't wait to change.
No, it cannot be a fetish.
Well, you never know if you really are into changing diapers or something.
Don't try
the LGBT community does not need to include pedophilia.
It's not something you need to make work.
Look, man, I just see
the diaper person, the diaper baby people.
Well, I did know a guy.
Oh, okay.
I did know a guy that when he got out of prison, he couldn't have sex unless there was a dirty diaper nearby. But that's a whole other issue.
Where are you getting diapers in prison?
No. When he got out of prison.
Oh, I thought he learned it in prison.
But didn't that where he learned?
You're missing what I want you to think about this.
You're right. I do need coffee.
No, shit. Where did he learn the behavior? In prison, right?
Yeah,
it's about anal sex.
But it's.
My name's Oregon Thomas, and this is Sam Narani.
Assume you can get it at commissary is all, the diaper.
Probably in Japan you can get it out of
I assume you snuck it in, and I'm like, what is the story behind this? Because it's like, if you got to have a dirty diaper, it's like, you can still do anal.
Yeah. I just thought you just like kids.
Did you stick the dirty diaper inside your anus?
Oh,
And is it pointless or is it hotter?
No.
Is that Christian? Is that a condom now?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Although I have had sex with a woman where the kid was passed out on the couch. We're there and like we're in the other
room. Right?
No, in the same room, and we're just still making out, and we're fucking in the living room while the kid is just passed out there on the freaking couch, and I'm just like. And then afterwards, I'm done. I'm just like, wow, I'm a sick fuck. I could come anywhere.
You know what happened? That kid grew up to never get off unless he's thinking about his mom getting porked by some guy.
I know.
Yes.
You know, he probably, you don't know he was actually asleep the whole time.
Oh, shit.
He might have just been faking it and the kid's traumatized. And like you said, now he's got a fetish.
So the topic of today's conversation is regretting stuff.
You don't regret that?
It's not my problem.
Well, you know what?
It's not my problem at all.
Until 10 years later when somebody knocks on your door.
Mr. Gonzalez, I need you to pay back child support pay. Like, damn it.
You know, some child support and a little bit of money for therapy for this other kid.
No, prove it. Slam. It's done.
Oh, man. So, so today's topic is like regretting favors.
Regretting
Regretting-
favors.
Regretting favors.
Of all manner. Regular, sexual, monetary.
Regretting. Oh, wow. Okay, regretting
I'm
sexual
just trying to
favors.
get back into the diapers and all that jazz.
Yeah, that joke failed. It was basically, you know, guys are in prison so long that they hook up with each other there, and then when they get out, they can't have sex unless they
Well,
smell-
first of all, that's-
unless you smell shit.
Yeah.
It's such a.
We have
Okay,
we have a
this is
mutual
my
friend.
thing, that y'all don't like.
You're gonna edit that out though.
No,
Fucking
This
joke.
is my thing. This is a serious question though. If you like, I'm just gonna use it. Like, I'm assuming these are prison bitches, right? This is what we're talking about right
Okay.
now. So, no, I'm just being straight up. Like,
No, we got it,
if
yeah.
that becomes your regular role, you don't take the same aspect to like, you know, you finna get ran through for anal. You're
Right.
not cleaning yourself out. Like, people do that in porn. Why wouldn't you do
Yeah.
that there? Like, I don't
I don't
understand.
know.
They have, well, people in porn have resources. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's showers.
they're not that great quality showers.
I mean, I've never been to prison. I'm just saying. I think our tax dollars should help these guys out. And
So you want douching to be part of our tax dollars?
Douching be a part of like the prison commissary.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's a hygiene thing. It's just a hygiene.
No,
thing.
you're
We're trying to
right.
help.
That's
You know what?
That's all it is.
You know, I'm liberal.
That will pass in a
I'm
definitely
liberal enough to
Republican
get totally
state.
behind that, man. It's like, I mean,
Was that a pun?
Yeah.
huh?
I was
Was that a
like,
pun?
What, liberal enough to get behind that? Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
Hey.
I mean,
Da 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 da.
No, but like.
I ain't been to prison either, but if I was,
yeah.
would I be a top or a bottom?
I
What you
don't
think?
think it's up to you.
Did you like, yeah.
You're asking the question.
Well, my daddy's always said, you're either you grow up to be the top or you're the bottom. That's what my dad used to tell me
Yeah.
as a kid.
And this is why I obey all laws nowadays.
nobody's answering that question. I was like, you know what? Just gonna avoid the topic. Like, we brought it up, so like, nobody wants to actually answer the question.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Omar, what would you? Okay.
would I be a top or a bottom? Oh man, I think
I'd be in protective custody.
Solitary confinement. All day, bro.
look, if you give me solitary confinement and a PlayStation, I'm all set. And I don't need.
I ain't that liberal. I ain't that liberal, dude.
You know what? I'll take.
Or a PlayStation. Which one? I'll be walking down.
You don't know how many-
Oh, you know what? I'll accept a Nintendo 64. I'll just have fun with
You
that.
don't know how many kids we'd have committing felonies if that's what prison was like. Like, what? I'm 13 and I can play Fortnite forever?
Exactly. I would
We had
do
it
that.
like that. It was a video games. I remember we were like, it was like Upward Bound. That's like little
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
and stuff, like trying to teach them education, blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one cat. This girl came. It was like older woman. She's talking about, I'm trying to keep us out of prison, and all that. And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be in prison lifting weights. She's like, why would we give y'all weights unless you're in like what is it, a low risk or whatever? It's
Yeah.
like, you in real prison, y'all will kill each other. Like, this is not the game, bro. Like,
I don't know. I've seen the
here.
Kingpin work out,
I don't know.
like in
What?
Daredevil, when he's just like pumping iron and shit like that, dude. So I figured they would be.
Why would
weights
I
in prison.
give you resources to pump the fuck up so you can tear each other apart more?
Exactly. That's what they. That's kind
Unless
of.
it's a reality show.
They do.
I will watch prison reality shows.
There's a couple good ones out there.
See?
There's one that I think it's Santa Rita actually in Oakland area, and it's all women, and it's I mean, fuck, I got hooked into it like a soap opera, man. It was just like all the drama and all the shit, you know. You know, because guys, and
Are you just not watching Orange is the New Black?
I'll tell you, yeah, right. No. Women in men's prison is definitely different because in prison, men will kill each other.
Yeah.
But women in prison, they will try to destroy each other's lives.
Oh,
Wait,
no. This is real life. This is real life.
People cannot see this, so let's point out that the only woman at the table agreed with me.
No, I agree with you too because I remember.
Y'all dated bitches, you know how it is.
Yes.
I will hurt you emotionally first.
Yeah,
you're right. That prison bitch was very emotionally damaging to me. So.
Is that a legitimate thing though? Is that a legitimate weapon? Because like, you know what I'm saying? Like in a sense of that's a legitimate weapon.
You ever been fucked up by a girl?
Is it more of a survival tactic? You think about it, like genetically, obviously, women are not as big. That's a physical thing. Like it's a thing. So you can't physically fight a dude, but if you can mentally destroy them and control them, that's more powerful.
Shut it.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No, I think you're totally right because that's where like there are different power dynamics in a man and woman relationship where the man may be physically more powerful, but I mean I'm traumatized from my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I literally a fucking emotional battering from my mom or a fucking ass beating from my dad. I'm in the ass beating line, dude.
That's quick.
It's like you know that shit I worked through real fast, man. I'm still in therapy over my mom.
Because you know what? I agree with you very much so because when I'm being eaten by that bear. And I find out it's a man bear. It's like, that's not too bad. He was just destroyed emotionally by his mother. And she's fucking gnawing on me. Asperger's.
And then you hug him. It's okay, bro.
It's okay.
Get through this.
Look, I'm hugging with half limbs, but you know what? Just know it's there. And I'm bleeding on your fur.
Prevent forest fires together.
Alright. God damn. I don't even know where to fucking go from there.
Well, I do love the top of the Regrets though, and I will say this: there's a band I love. They're an old Austin band called the Butthole Surfers, and one of the first.
They're so Austin, by the way.
Yeah, one of the first things they do on one of their albums called "Hairway to Steven," which is a play on "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
They open up this song and they go, it's a little kid and he goes, "Daddy, what does regret mean?" And then Dad's voice comes in. He's all like, "Son, the funny thing about regret, it's better regret something you have done than something you haven't done. And when you see your mom this weekend, be sure and tell her, Satan, Satan, Satan." And just kicks into this fucking crazy ass song. But that line, for me, I mean, I hate to say sometimes, art imitating life, but you know what? Like, I took that line to heart. Like, am I going to regret what I did do as opposed to what I didn't do? So for me, my regrets are shit I haven't done. More so than the shit I have done.
Is it more like boxes you haven't checked? Like, hey, I've lived like quite a big experience life. I haven't experienced X, Y, and Z yet. So I want to...
Yeah, many things like that. And there are certain mile markers in life where I go, like, at this point in my life, am I going to jump out of a plane? I really fucking doubt it.
I know, but like, Casey just gave a thumbs up and that could be communicated to the mic. But...
It was.
You know what? I just want to acknowledge that you just like, hey.
And by the way, Casey is encouraging me to do it without a fucking parachute.
I didn't go that. I'm saying you should. When you said that, that's why I got into. I think it was like after college. So I wanted to, like, we're comics. We all do stand up. I want to do stand up at 18. I want to talk to my friend. I talked to my friend. So he was like, what y'all want to do after high school and all that? And I said, I want to be a stand up. He's like, that's really hard to get into. And without 2 seconds thinking like, that's too hard, I'm not going to do it. Like, I just like folded. I folded while you were trying it. So after going to college, I was like, what do I want to do? The same shit I wanted to do at 18. So that's when I had that mindset. Like, what you're saying is, like, I'm going to die anyway. Statistically speaking, I'm 28. I'm supposed to die at 70.
Yeah, that's 100%. That part I know.
Yeah. So it's like, with that being said, it's like, no matter what you're going to do, no matter what happens, like, you're going to die. That is guaranteed. Right. So there is no more regrets of like what I have done, what I haven't done. So that's why I just dove head first. So you brought up the skydiving thing. I was able to do that, and I literally, I was just like, it was with a couple comics, and they were like, "Case, you're on a death wish today." But I was like, at the point where like you don't care anymore. You know it's going to come. So if you let that hold you back, if we let that hold us back from comedy or whatever we're doing, then you miss out on that little blimp for something that's already guaranteed to happen to you.
Yeah.
And
it's like you neuter yourself without even realizing.
Yeah. And that is
kind of fear.
That is, I know that feeling too, because when I was 12 is when I wanted to do stand-up. And I didn't do it I didn't start till I was 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had that same process you had for 4 decades. You know, and it was all about me negatively reinforcing that thought that it's too late, or I'm not good enough, or the fear of failing, or all that shit. And finally got to a point where I was like, I don't give a fuck, but in a good way. You know, not that I don't give a fuck and I'm gonna like put myself in a dangerous situation. It's like, I don't give a fuck what people think. You know, let's go have the experience, because now I can tell somebody I've had this experience. You know, instead of my whole life imagining what it was going to be like to get up on stage in front of a microphone.
And it's very interesting that you kind of stated that way, because regretting when just starting to just do me, like, I've had people all my life. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, like, hey, you're funny, you should do stand-up, or hey, you should do...
All the time.
No, like, nothing. I hang around with a bunch of guy friends back in El Paso that are like, that at no point, I'm giving them freaking A's, and they're like, okay, cool. At no point where they're like, hey, you should go out there and do stand-up or do something funny or do something entertaining. But then when I tell them I'm doing stand-up, they're like, oh, that's a natural fit for you. I'm like, where the fuck was this? Like 10 or 15 years ago when you say I should have just started this and just say like, oh, you're a natural at this. But I'm always fascinated because like, and even though I kind of sometimes regret hanging out with the friends that I did back in the day because they weren't as encouraging. And I'll give you like one example. One of them was like, I had a friend named Smiley. And I love him to death, to a point. but like legit, like he had kids and everything, and he didn't really have a ride. And like every once in a while, like he'll call me when I was over there and just be like, hey, what are you doing? Which is code for I need a ride. That's code. Like you ever just have those guys that like they just call you up and it's just like, you know, like you don't talk to me on a normal basis just to say, hey, what's up? It's more like, no, you want something. So like he calls me up and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh no, I'm just like, you know, just hanging chill. It's like, all right, cool, man, can I get a ride? I'm like, all right, fine. And most of the times I'll give him a ride, except there's one day. I try to make this to a bit, and it's still pretty dark for it. So like one day I woke up early and I went to the backyard to feed the dogs, and I saw my little Chihuahua was jumping around, named Carlos. He was like jumping around and everything, and we have a chain link fence. A little part of there's a chain link fence, but there's like a wire that was sticking out of it. He was jumping around last night, and his collar got caught on the wire, and he's just basically hanging there, like completely dead. He hung himself. My little dog fucking just jumped around and hung himself. That's insane. So
I regret hearing this story.
I know. I'm like,
it's a sad story.
You better make this shit funny.
It's a sad story because and we're all crying and everything's weird. A little bit later on the day, Smiley gives me a call. It's just like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, dude, my dog died. He hung himself today. Hey man, that's cool. Can I get a ride? And I'm like, fuck you. And I do. So yeah, I hate friends.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a saying in New Jersey: you're only as good as your last envelope.
What's that?
Elaborate, please.
Are you baking envelopes?
No. An envelope is how you.
Is it the postal union?
No, an envelope is like what you give to you got to pay off your loan shark, or you got to pay off whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, if you're kicking up to the boss, or you know you're part of whatever. Let's say it's a criminal thing, but it doesn't matter. It applies to all situations. You know what I mean? Even altruistic stuff. You know what I mean? I'm only as good as my last good deed.
Yeah.
Too, you know what I mean? But also,
do it.
what I have to watch for is what I think Omar's talking about is these motherfuckers that take your kindness as a weakness.
100%.
And growing up in New Jersey, like part of it was like, I'm only as good as my last good deed. But you know what? You're only as good as like the way you respond to my good deeds too, because there are a lot of people out there that are just vampires.
You guys want to do your socials?
Yeah.
We're on there. What?
You do not want my social media.
No, we don't want your social security. Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, mine's been somewhat dropped. CaseyIsTrying.com. Casey is trying everything, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Casey.
Yeah, you can IG me at Paul Weiner Punk Rock Comedy.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thanks.
And that's it. Go home.
Thank you for listening to the All Regerts podcast with Sam Narani and Omar Gonzalez. Remember this, just because you have regrets doesn't mean you cannot live life as if you have no regrets. Have a wonderful day.